The name of this girl is Damini, who is waiting at the station for her boyfriend's arrival. However, a killer comes there and sprays Damini in the face, making her unconscious. But before Damini becomes completely unconscious, she smiles because she saw her blind boyfriend coming to the same station. When the killer sees that the guy is blind, he secretly picks up Damini and takes her away from there, due to which Gautham, Damini's boyfriend, gets a little suspicious and calls out to Damini. Similarly, after searching here and there, Gautham finds Damini's ring. Due to this, his suspicion turns into a belief that his girlfriend Damini is in some trouble. The story starts from a deserted place where the psycho killer of this story kills a girl by lying on the bed. He ties her hands and legs and without talking to her, separates her head from her body, takes away her remaining body, and keeps it in a place. In the morning, the matter reaches the police and they take action after completing all the formalities. Our hero Gautham also lives in the same city, who cannot see, but he loved listening to a radio jockey named Damini and often used to listen to her show. While listening to Damini, Gautham had fallen in love with her, but till now, it was only a one-sided love. Gautham knows very well when and where Damini is going and what she will do next. That is why he keeps following her with the help of his friend Raj Nayakam. Meanwhile, while following Damini, Gautham reaches a wedding and tries to impress her by singing. After some time, he also proposes to Damini, but Damini initially rejects his proposal. However, after a lot of requests from Gautham, Damini agrees to accept his proposal if he can find out the place she is going to the next day and meet her there, indicating that she will then accept his proposal and acknowledge his love for her. She asks Gautham to listen to the next day's program carefully. The next day, Gautham keeps listening to Damini's program on the radio with full attention. On the other hand, Damini was waiting for Gautham at a railway station at night because she was sure that Gautham would definitely come. But even after waiting for a long time, Gautham does not come, and instead the psycho killer comes there who sprays Damini on her face and makes her unconscious. But before she becomes unconscious, Damini sees Gautham coming there and smiles. A smile appears on the face of Gautham as soon as he comes near Damini. He smells the fragrance of her perfume. Gautham calls out to Damini and moves towards the bench, but the vicious psycho killer very calmly lifts Damini on his shoulder. Gautham feels that something is wrong here, so he calls the police and brings them to the scene. While narrating what happened, he says that Damini has been kidnapped by the same psycho killer. The same psycho killer brought Damini to a place and was ready to cut off her hands and legs when his eyes fall on Damini's face, which has a kind of mark on it. There was no fear, rather she was smiling upside down. The killer asks her why she is smiling and why there is no fear on her face. Damini tells him that it is her birthday exactly 7 days from today, and if she reaches Gautham by then he will not kill her. If she doesn't reach, Gautham will find her from anywhere. Hearing all this, the killer does not kill Damini and accepts her challenge. After some time, the killer goes out and books a prostitute, and after making her unconscious, brings her to his place in Damini's place. After tying her hands and legs, he also separates her head from her body. After doing all this, the killer tells Damini that when Gautham comes here searching for her, he will cut his head and put it in her hand and her head in his hand. The next day, the killer throws the prostitute's body outside. Soon, the police reaches there. Police officer Muthu tells the commissioner that Damini's father has confirmed that this body is not Damini's. Gautham also reaches there after hearing about the body, and from the smell, he also understands that it is not Damini. Gautham immediately goes to a psychiatrist named Sushila, and she tells him that Damini is still alive. Dr. Sushila tells that this should not happen because whoever the killer is, he has kidnapped the girl and then leaves her after killing her. Then what was different in Damini's case? The psychiatrist encourages Gautham and says that the police has been chasing her for 1.5 years, but till now they have not been able to catch her. Maybe this time, Gautham can catch him. Gautham goes to the police commissioner to ask for his help, while a constable named Akbar tells him about an ex-police officer named Kamala who had previously worked on this case. Gautham immediately reaches her house and tells her everything about Damini, but Kamala refuses to help him and also starts abusing her. Actually, Kamala had lost both her arms and legs in an accident, and after this, she was confined to a wheelchair. Injured by this, Gautham slaps her and walks away. On the other hand, the policemen also reach the prostitute's area and start interrogating a woman. The woman says that last night, Riney had called and was telling that she was with her customer, who was taking her somewhere in a nice car and was also very good looking. After gathering some information like this, the police came to know that the killer was a rich man, around 28 to 30 years old, and will also have 1 or 2 luxury cars. Well, on the same night, Kamala reaches Gautham's house with her mother. This time, she had decided that she will help Gautham and will not let the girl's life go. Kamala says that first of all, we have to collect complete information about this case, which is currently with CID, so we have to get all the information from there. In fact, 1.5 years ago, she had worked on this case because she knew where the evidence and details were kept. With Kamala's help, Gautham reaches the CID office. When Gautham is about to open the cupboard, a man catches him from behind, and Muthu goes to take back the keys of his house. Muthu gets a little suspicious, but there was no one there. After Muthu leaves, we come to know that the other person in the office was Akbar, and he was the one who had hidden all the detailed papers while helping Constable Akbar Gautham. Well, when Kamala takes the details home and studies them, she comes to know that now a total of 14 girls have gone missing. 4 of them are prostitutes, and all the remaining girls were quite successful in their fields. Similarly, the girl who was kidnapped went missing from the road in broad daylight. Gautham, along with the police team, goes to the house of all the victims and asks about the kidnapping. Everyone said that their daughter had gone missing on the way back home. Hearing this, Gautham goes to every place where these girls were last seen. Gautham notices that all the crime scenes have one thing in common, which is a dustbin, which helps Gautham and Kamala to understand that when the girl would be going back to her house, she must have seen something near the dustbin. That is why she must have stopped her car and got down. After asking the children playing nearby, she comes to know that a child had seen a puppy in the hand of a girl named Rupa. From this, Gautham and Kamala predict that first the killer would buy a puppy from a cute person and leave it near the dustbin. Then when the girl would stop her car after seeing the puppy, the kidnapper would say that this dog is mine. Please bring it and give it to me. And as soon as the girl would go near him, he would somehow make her unconscious and kidnap her. The next day, the kidnapper is going to kidnap a new girl with the same planning, but he is not able to succeed. Gautham smells a strange smell from the girl's body, so they asked Raj Nayakam to bring a white and a black pig. Raj Nayakam does the same and keeps both the pigs in front of Gautham. Gautham tells Kamala that along with the body of this girl, he was also smelling white pig-like feces from the prostitute girl who had died earlier. After doing this, everyone goes to the pig farm and starts investigating. But in none of the pig farms do they see a young owner who matches the killer's appearance. Meanwhile, Muthu comes to know that Gautham and his team have gone to the pig farm. They are interrogating because Muthu had hired a man to follow Gautham. Muthu goes to a pig farm, and coincidentally, the owner of one of the farms is the same killer whom they were searching till now. Seeing the police there, the killer gets scared. She goes and makes the policeman unconscious by injecting him. After this, we see the policeman locked in his room in which the killer used to carry out all his exploits when the killer was not there. Damini brings him to his senses and helps him to escape from here. But Muthu says that he will not be able to do it. After some time, the psycho killer comes to Muthu and kills him too. Similarly, after investigating all the pig farms, Gautham and his team do not find any evidence, but Kamala gets the complete information. It was believed that the killer would be present in one of these big farms. On not getting the results, poor Gautham becomes very sad and decides that he will stay alone at home tonight. After some time, the psycho killer's car arrives there and Gautham understands. Realizing that it is the killer's car, he deliberately comes out of his house and goes near the car with a cactus plant in his hand. Raj Nayakam, standing at a distance, starts following the killer's car with his car. There is a distance between the two. A long chase ensues. Unfortunately, Raj Nayakam is killed by the killer. The killer calls Gautham from Raj Nayakam's phone and tells him that he will kill Damini on her birthday. Gautham comes to know about Raj Nayakam the next day. Hearing this, he is very sad, but Raj Nayakam was his eyes and also a true friend. The doctor who conducts the postmortem while giving his belongings to Gautham tells him that the killer has cut off the little finger of his right hand and taken it with him. After seeing all this, Gautham tells Kamala and her mother that he will not run after the killer anymore. This makes Kamala very angry, and she says that if he had to give up so soon, then why did he take her out of the darkness? What was the need to give her hope? It was all of her fault that she trusted him. If she had not fallen from the college stairs at that time, then today she would have solved this case alone. Hearing this about the college, Gautham and Kamala go straight to the college where Kamala had come 1.5 years ago. Actually, a student was also murdered here, and Kamala had come here in the same connection. After checking the CCTV footage, there was a person sitting under suspicion. Kamala and Gautham both meet the foreign principal and ask him who this person is. The principal tells them that the person sitting next to them in this video, he does not know who that man was, but he can definitely say that he was left-handed because he took the popcorn at his place with his left hand, and his right hand was in his pocket during the function. Knowing all this, one thing suddenly strikes in Gautham's mind, and he immediately goes and checks Raj Nayakam's belongings. This makes it clear to him that the killer's right hand was in his pocket, and there is no little finger. Actually, this was the clue which Gautham's friend had left for him. When the killer came to Gautham's house, Gautham had taken the measurement of his car. With the help of this, he makes inquiries in different car manufacturing companies. And finally, they get success. The car company owner tells that exactly as Gautham had told, there's a man named Angeli Mal who has a hotel and also a pig farm. After finding the killer, Kamla and Gautham go to the same pig farm, but there they come to know that Angeli Mal has just gone out. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Gautham starts investigating his office. During this investigation, Gautham finds a map which he brings and shows to Kamla. From here, the scene shifts, and we once again see Damini. In this closed cell, Damini sees a woman who has been imprisoned here for many years. When Damini asks, she tells that her name is Rachel. Rachel was Angeli Mal's teacher. Angeli Mal grew up in an orphanage, and in childhood, Rachel had punished the killer. Today, Angel Mal is taking revenge from her. On the other hand, Kamla makes it easier for Gautham to understand the map by placing matchsticks on it. Gautham also memorizes the map with the help of his fingers. Gautham and Kamla decide that both of them will go and rescue Damini from there. Kamla tells the direction and Gautham drives. Angeli Mal brings Damini to a place and makes her sit on a chair, and in front of her is her teacher Rachel too. Actually, Angeli Mal recreates the incident that happened in his childhood. His teacher Rachel had punished him for masturbating in his childhood. On that day, the teacher used to hit him 60 times every day. Angeli Mal seems to be pleading in front of his teacher that, "Teacher, please forgive me. To it, I made a mistake." After that drama, Angeli Mal is now preparing to kill Damini when Damini asks him a question as to who was the dead body of the policeman lying there. On this, Angeli Mal tells him that when he was arrested and taken to the juvenile home, he had misbehaved with him, so he killed him. Gautham and Kamla also reach that place. As soon as they go inside, the alarms inside the factory start ringing. Knowing this, Knuckles, when Mal is about to kill Gautham, there is a power cut in the area. Actually, Kamla's mother had cut the lights of this area. In the darkness, Angel Mal starts searching for Gautham. Angel Mal calls Gautham and says that he is defeated. Gautham goes, and Angeli Mal injures him by stabbing him in the stomach. Gautham also renders Angeli Mal unconscious by giving him an electric shock. As soon as he becomes unconscious, Gautham ties her hands with chains, after which Gautham finds Damini and unties her hands and legs, and when both of them are running away from here, Angeli Mal shouts loudly that, "Teacher, please don't leave me alone, I don't want to be alone." Hearing this, Damini takes the key and throws it towards him. When Angel Mal moves forward to take the key, his teacher Rachel picks up the key and swallows it. Angel Mal goes near her and tears his stomach and frees himself from the chains. By the time he ran out, Damini, Gautham, and Kamla had left from there. The next day, the police made Damini sit in front of the press. When Damini was asked, she gave her statement that she did not see any psycho killer in that person, rather she saw a psycho killer. She showed a small child who was left alone by everyone and his loneliness was taken advantage of. Had she been his mother or sister, perhaps he would have got so much love that he would never have become a psycho killer. This is how she shows her sympathy in this interview. Mal was also watching, and he understands that now someone has understood him. Someone has looked at him with eyes of love. Accepting his mistake and defeat, Angel Mal gives up his life by jumping from a mountain, and this is the end of today's film. Thanks for watching this recap. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to comment below and tell me what movie you want me to recap next.